Hi, in this video I would like to present to you various types of distortions of the Holocaust. Distortions consist of revising historical facts in order to make the Holocaust appear less horrific than it really was. The reason for the distortion could be the same as for the Holocaust denial, avoiding the feeling of guilt and shame. The problem is the distortion insults the memory of the victims and is painful to the living families. Distortion consists of various forms of minimalization and trivialization. There are people who claim that only a small number of Jews were murdered, and others who claim that Jews were housed and fed and received medical care, all of which are distortions. Another variation of distortion is to compare it to other horrific but lesser massacres, and another variation is just to ignore it, as if it didn't happen. I was walking with a group of walkers one day, and a woman who was walking beside me said to me, "The Jews have to stop talking about the Holocaust. Christians were massacred too, but we don't talk about it. We put it in the past and moved on." The Romans indeed persecuted Christians, among other groups, before Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire. And there were other horrific massacres throughout human history. But next to torture, medical experimentation, and inhumane violations, the sheer magnitude of the ultimate evil of all times is hardly a fair comparison. Another variation of distortion is to point the finger back at the victims. When I was at the University of Illinois, my history professor taught that the Jews brought the Holocaust on themselves because they controlled European economy. He distorted the Jewish contribution to European economy into an attempt to dominate it, which he justified by the protocols of the Elders of Zion. His claim was not only distorted historically, but also didn't explain the massacre of 3 million non-Jews and 1.5 million children, to which his claim didn't apply. In case you are wondering, my attempt to approach the professor directly didn't change his mind, to say the least, and bringing it up to the attention of the university ended in a dead end. Since this was taught in a mandatory class, all students at this university, year after year, learn the distorted variation of the Holocaust. Abusing Holocaust-related symbols and imagery in order to promote other agendas is also a type of distortion. Groups such as anti-vaccination, anti-socialism, anti-Israel, and many others insult the memory of the victims. Mahmoud Abbas, the president of the Palestinian Authority, which governs the Muslim population in Judea and Samaria, recently abused the Holocaust memory at the G7 conference in Germany. During a press conference, a reporter asked Abbas if he plans to issue an apology about his part in the Munich massacre, in which 11 Jewish athletes during the Olympic Games were kidnapped and murdered 50 years ago. Abbas didn't answer the question as he was asked, didn't express any grief, remorse, or regret, and didn't express any intention to apologize for it. Instead, standing on German soil where the Olympic massacre occurred, he defiantly responded with the usual crying wolf at Israel. In translation, he said, "I have 50 massacres and 50 Holocausts that Israeli Jews committed," which of course he doesn't have. It is important to understand that this was not an incidental slip of tongue. Abbas never stopped the anti-Semitic speeches, never stopped referring to the Jews as filth, never stopped authorizing anti-Semitic textbooks, and never stopped encouraging the killing of the Jews. I am mystified by Abbas' PhD dissertation that was dedicated specifically to claiming that the Jews collaborated with the Nazis in order to concoct what he called the fantastic lie of the Holocaust. Ladies and gentlemen, I never got the chance to respond to the woman who was walking next to me because she suddenly rushed to make a phone call. So here is my response. Dear Candy, the Jews did move on. And while enduring persistent anti-Semitism and terrorism, the Jews established one of the most successful countries in the world. In case you don't know, there is hardly any area of specialty to which the Jews do not contribute. Among many other contributions, Jews composed several Christmas songs you might be singing, and they invented the cherry tomatoes you might be eating. Jews invented the mechanism of the wireless phone that most likely you are using. Some of the medications that you might be taking, and the desalinated water that you might be drinking. If you didn't know, now you know. Bye.